Amjad Fahadang's here for the last time talking about Russian mods. On this week's episode, we're gonna close the wide angle end of the set, and it's a little bit more than last week's Mir 10A. This week we're gonna be talking about the Mir 20M, which is a 20mm lens, and I have only tested this procedure on the first generation of the lens, so if you do it on a newer version, please update us in the comments so we know if it works or it doesn't. Anyway, some folks might argue that why would you even need a 20mm anamorphic? Because most things will be in focus and the ovals are going to be barely noticeable. I had the lens sitting on the shelf and somebody else is already selling it on eBay for a couple $100, so I thought, why not show you how to do it on the cheap? The flare line doesn't work so well with this lens, it creates horrible flares, so I'm gonna settle for just the tinted aperture. You're gonna need a first generation Mir 20M, a small screwdriver, your trusty lens wrench, an aperture disc from the Mir 1B, sandpaper, scissors, black and orange Sharpies, double-sided tape, 3D printed focus gears, and a rotating M42 adapter. You can get all of these items from the links below, and some of them from me on eBay. Just like last week's lens, you can focus the lens to infinity for easier access. Using the screwdriver, take out these 3 screws and the ring they hold. Then, remove the first glass element by wedging it out. Welcome to level 2 of taking out annoying elements. There's 2 more to go, same strategy as last week. Plug them with a lens wrench and keep track of which side faces up. We're now at the aperture level. The problem is, we're on the wrong side of it this time. When adjusting the iris, you can see there's a small rotation movement going on here. So we're gonna have to hack this differently. Also, this hole is tiny. I'm using the aperture disc from the Mir 1B once more. It's easier to deal with. Send the disc as thin as possible, almost near breaking point. The hack is we're gonna stick this to the glass instead of overlaying it with the aperture mechanism. Use the scissors to cut it to a size where it fits perfectly over the rear glass element, the glass element that goes inside of the aperture pretty much. Now paint it. Now cover one side with a lot of double-sided tape and stick it to the glass. It hurts, but I'm committing. Now let's put all these elements back in place with the oval aperture facing down and going tight with the aperture mechanism. The last step is to add the screws back. Careful though, if you haven't sanded your aperture discs thin enough, these glass elements will be a little pushed back, which means that the 3 screws won't go in all the way. So as soon as they offer some resistance, stop. The only things left are adding the 3D printed focus gear and the adjustable adapter so you can rotate the direction of the ovals as you please. I like this 20mm by itself, and it's not a super fast lens, which means it is not afflicted by the fact that it's losing a little bit of light due to the oval. I'm not expecting the ovals to show up everywhere. I just want the subconscious feeling that there's something different going on. Plus, they'll really pop up in the background when you do warped close-ups like this one. It was quite a journey making these tutorials, with more than a year between the first episode and the last, which is this one. So thank you for accompanying me in this process. Shoot me questions in the comments below, and please hit the like button as that helps this channel to grow. And if you like the subject of anamorphic shooting, who doesn't, you should really subscribe. Plus, if you want to extend your support, you can visit my Patreon page and make a pledge there and get some pretty cool features in advance. I'm Amjad Fahadang, and I'll see you next week.